Hello everyone, welcome back to this marble game. You may notice that the world looks a little bit different. I'm not done with the tutorial level yet, but I did do the last bit of coding I wanted to do for the tutorial. On Thursday, I'm going to have the scene finished, and if not Thursday, by next week, I promise. I ran into a bunch of problems, that's why I'm a little bit behind. First off, I changed the skybox. I used one of my favorites for the sunset. I just really like that skybox. It looks really nice. I might rotate it, try to get the lighting a little bit different. One of the problems I had was whenever the scene would reset from the coding, I'll show you guys in a bit, the skybox would turn dark, so I fixed that. And then whenever it reset again, whenever I set it to reset again, the skybox would go back to default. Then when I fixed that, I reset it again, and then the ball's reflection would be the default while the skybox looked like that. So I fixed that and reset it again, and then I think that I finally got it to reflect, but then it brought it back to the dark scene when you reset. And so I reset it one more time, and everything seems to be fine. And yes, it does go to the next scene. Over here, you can't see it because it's invisible, but I have a goal now. I took off the mesh rendering of it. Can't speak. I took off the mesh rendering for the goal, so that way you just ram right into the wall, and it brings you directly into the next scene. I know the level is very simplistic, but it's supposed to be a tutorial, just to get you used to the momentum. What I plan on doing is in level 1, I'm going to introduce a new mechanic, and level 2, I'm going to introduce another new mechanic, and then finally in level 3, I'm going to introduce the final mechanic, and then from then on to level 10, you'll be using all those mechanics, maybe one at a time, or you're going to have all of them at once. As you can see, the terrain in the background looks atrocious, but the terrain is not complete. I just wanted to get a simple looking mountain thing, because I have in my Unity store, if you guys remember the Tesla Towers level, I have the city assets. I'm going to build a little city underneath so the player sees from here all the way over here, like a city going from here to here. And I'm going to add like a tunnel on one side, maybe on another side of the mountain. I haven't decided. I'll probably add more to the mountain on this side, but then again, you're not going to be able to see it. So I'll probably add a tunnel on this side, so you'll see like actually no, a good idea would be I'll have a road leading onward into this mountain. I'll have a tunnel leading that way, but there will also be another turn going that way following the darkness, so you can see city life. And this will only be a fraction of the city. You're not going to be able to see everything. It's not done yet. The last thing I have to do now is just finish the level, make it look nice, and then we can move on to level 1, which I did create. There is nothing there. It is just plain and boring, but I just wanted to show you guys, before I showed you the coding, that everything works. So first off, give it a second, let it load. Okay. So the first thing I want to show is, let's say you're rolling the ball and you screw up and you fall off. When you fall off, it resets and no longer turns off the lighting. I fixed that, and it doesn't go back to default skybox, which that annoyed the hell out of me. So I set the speed to 10 on the ball, and I'm gonna put something. I need to test repeatedly to make sure that when you keep up the speed on this, because if I hold down the speed button, I'm probably going to go through this wall right here. So let's test it. Okay, no. On rare occasions, I'll go right through that. So as long as I can make sure you never do that again, I'm totally fine. You can go as fast as you want, because it's going to stop you. Now, if I go on this ramp, going into the final area, and then I hit the collider, boom, level 1. So that brings you to level 1. What I plan on doing is having I'm going to look up a tutorial for like a you win scene, and then have it set for anytime you complete the level, and then there'll be like a next button, say at the bottom, that you click or something, and you go into, and then it'll transition into level 1 and such. So that's a future thing. So as you can see, it does work. it does work. It just needs a little bit more work on the tutorial to make it look a little bit more reasonable. I might add more to it in the coming days, because I want to at least make the tutorial look pretty nice, you know, reasonable. Because this is a very short game, tiny little indie marble game. And there is going to be a lot more scene. Each level might be designed differently. Like, let's say this is a sunset drive through a city for a tutorial, then the level 1 will be like you're in space or something. I haven't decided yet. Anyway, let's get into the coding aspects. So, let's start with these are from the same video that I posted on episode 1 of season 2. So let's start with the reset. I'm still very bad when it comes to the words that you say when it comes to coding, because I'm still a novice. But basically what this does is, if the ball, at base, if the ball falls between, falls like 50 feet below its current location, like so, let's say this is 0. This is 0 right here. If it gets 50 feet below this, it resets the level. However, you're able to adjust that anywhere you want. I'll show you on the game. Where is it? Marble? Yeah. I set it down to 20 because the scene is less than 50 feet below, as you can see. Like, the scene below is probably like... actually, how close to the ground do I get? We'll figure that out. Here. Let me roll the ball. Roll the ball like this and go into scene. And 20 is right. So this is 20, so I'm going to assume, I'm not very good at like calculations and stuff, but if I had to guess, this is probably at least 40 feet below. If this is the 20 marker, this is probably 40, so this is like 40 feet below. If this was a little bit lower, I can keep the 50, but in the tutorial, it literally says, like the guy literally says, you can have it set to whatever you want. I just have it set to 20 because I want the scene to be not that far below, but also make it feel like you're really high up, because that is a mountain right there. So that's what the reset does. So as long as you have this, you can always reset. This is just a little script that person helped. You should check out his channel if you really want to learn more, because he explains it a lot better. And now let's go into the goal one. Okay, let me move near the goal first before I show you. For the sake of this, I will keep the mesh render. There we go. I'll turn it back on because you're not meant to see my goal. Anyway, in the script, this basically does a very similar thing to the reset, except whenever the ball goes on this path and then finally hits this, which is a trigger. I have it set to trigger. When it hits the collider, it won't really reset the level, but it'll move on into the next active scene, which when you go into your build settings, whatever is the next scene, so tutorial is 0, that's level 0. Then level 1, that's set to 1. So that's going to be the next scene. So if I add, say, level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's going to keep going down until I hit the final level. But what I plan on doing is having a win-lose scenario scene that plays. If you win, it'll go from tutorial to win, and then you can go to level 1, and it'll just keep going back to that, level 2, back level 3, back level 4, back level 5, back level 6, and so on and so on. If you lose, it'll activate a different one that will just be, you lose or something, But that is as simple stuff as I could get. And I still got a little bit more stuff I got to do. Now that I've at least done the coding from start to finish, I'm gonna make sure I save all this real quick, and then I'm gonna close it. That way I don't have to keep it open. And turn the mesh renderer back off. So that's everything I've done because I ran into problem after problem, and it took a lot longer in multiple tutorials to figure out how to fix everything. But now that I got it stable, I'm going to have to make sure I do this for every single level. to make sure that the problems I had on this level aren't going to be happening on the level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because I do want to have 10 levels. So I still have to build 10 levels, which if we do one at a time, do like a few episodes each for each level, add one new mechanic each level, this game will come out as a pretty decent, like, little marble game, you know, just something fun for someone to play to waste time. You know, like that, trying to remember, that one pinball game that was on Windows a long time ago. It was like space themed. I freaking love that game. It was really fun. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, please let me know and tell me about your experience with it. I played that game for hours. But yeah, so as you can see, tutorial, while still bare bones, is coming along nicely. The mechanics in it are complete. Now all that's left is the final scene decoration. I'm going to flatten this down and take away those textures, which if you want to know how to do this, literally all I did was, where is it? Paint, no, not stamp. Paint texture, and I had to make multiple layers, but you have to make sure there's no texture on this to begin with. So let's say I wanted to turn this all rock. Right, forgot to select it. You select the layer you wanna add, or you wanna paint, and then just blob it all on there. Just make sure the texture doesn't look like this. I'm just using this as a what do you call it? A placeholder. So for now, let's just remove it. Let's just remove it because this does not affect the scene. This is just a texture. And there we go. Okay, so now it's a grassy mountain. But yeah, I'm gonna fix that, and then I'm gonna start adding the houses and the roads to give you like some depth of like how high we're up. And then I'm gonna add some cars with some animations going forward and back, and try to get better at the animation on getting a car going this way and then going that way, and then you'll never see him again because it's gonna go past here. And the player's view is restricted to, let's say like when you're right here, it's like restricted to this. So you're not gonna see, like, say that, like, you could see the road down here. You're not gonna see the car going left and right. I am gonna adjust the camera when I get a chance. I just want to finish this level first, make it look a little bit better, and then we can move on to level 1. Which each level is gonna be different. They're not always gonna be running through and onto a ramp. This is just the tutorial to get you used to movement. You know, because there might be ramps on one level, there might be something else. You never know. So anyway, guys, that's all for this episode. On the next episode, which if it doesn't come out on Thursday, it means I'm working a little bit more on this level. So expect it. If it doesn't come on Thursday, expect it to come next week on Tuesday. Because remember, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I want to post out the videos. I promise you, I'm not going to be taking any more big breaks. Even though my ADHD and stuff causes me to be, lose focus and stuff, I still do as hard as I can to overcome that and build on my games, because I have my own deadlines I've created and I got my goals. But anyway, until the next episode, I hope everyone in the audience enjoys the rest of your day, and I will talk to you all later.